y'all, how's it going? We are out at the community plot today. It is Sunday morning. It is a beautiful day out. It's super sunny. The weather is amazing, and wanted to show you the community plot. We had some freeze nights, and so pretty much everything died. I probably could have left some root vegetables in the ground and they would have like sprung out new greens. But I think I'm just kind of over it. I'm just ready to like plant onions and get the ground ready to plant the spring garden. And so yeah, let me show you what's going on. So here's all of the dead stuff that's been pulled. I went ahead and pulled like my greens. They had pretty much died. And yeah, like I said, there were some root vegetables. And so I'm going to actually take all of this to the compost that we have here at the garden, which is way over there. So none of this is weeds. This is all like pulled zinnias and pulled vegetables. So this will be great composting material. And then I think there's a plane right now, so I don't know how well you can hear me. But then this is some garlic that I planted. So this survived the freeze. Garlic is pretty like cold hardy. So I probably got like, I don't know, 10 or 12 heads of garlic that are like living right here. And then this is more garlic right here. Hi, there's me. So this is more garlic right here. Here's some more garlic, more garlic, more garlic. So in here, what we're gonna be planting today is actually onions. So I'm gonna plant a few onions, but I think I'm actually gonna do like a dedicated onion video. And I got my onion sets from the Natural Gardener, which is a local garden center here in Austin. And the people there are super knowledgeable. So when you get your onion sets, they look like this. And I got 100, so that's a lot. I really love onions, and I also love making bacon onion jam. It's amazing, it's fine. So yeah. Onions are nice though because you can plant them super close together, and I'll actually show you one of the gardeners here planted onions in a communal plot yesterday, so I can kind of show you what it's supposed to look like. You can actually plant onions like really close together, so that's probably only a couple of inches. There are probably like hundreds of onions planted here. And so what'll happen is I'm planting these onions here right now. They will be pretty big by the time I'm planting out some of my spring stuff. So these onions are anywhere from like 95 to 110 days. And so if I plant them now, I'll be harvesting them right around when I'm planting seedlings that are pretty small. So I should be able to interplant everything and not choke anything out. This garden this year is, I think I've really stressed myself out at making it like this very planned thing. And I think that's where I keep falling on my face, to be honest. So I am going to do my best not to over-plan this garden this year. But honestly, it looks like shit. I'm pretty sure I said in a vlog at one point in the fall, I was like, I'm gonna try not to amend it or mulch it. I've put so much hard work into it. Well, let me tell you, that was a mistake. So I think I'm gonna go back to amending and mulching like at least once a year, if not twice a year. And I think I have the most success when I do that. So I need to weed this pretty heavily. So we're gonna come through. There's a lot of stuff that's dead, but I just wanted to take you along today at really kind of rectifying the community plot, because it has not gotten the love and attention that it deserves, and it is my baby. So all that being said, that's going over to the compost. We're gonna plant out onions. We're gonna pull weeds, and it's going to look better. I'm gonna show you the process of what we're doing here, and then we're gonna kind of vlog it up today. Okay, y'all, so we keep a bunch of bins of browns, so when you have compost you have greens and browns. So I just put a bunch of greens in, right? It's all fresh. I need to top it with browns so that it doesn't just like rot and mold and decay and get gross. Okay, y'all. So next step is we gotta weed, and I'm debating on mulching, but I really don't want to, but I know it's probably the best idea. I don't think I'm going to today. I think I'm gonna get my onions planted, let them get rooted for like a week or two, and then do some mulch. So, if you hate weeding just as much as the rest of us gardeners do, we have these tools at the community garden that are awesome. They don't always work, and they work best when your ground is a little damp. So we had a little bit of rain yesterday, so the ground is a little bit damp. So my lower back already hurts from starting seeds yesterday. So I'm gonna try and use this as much as I can, but if your lower back isn't a complete disaster like mine is, then I actually really like using like a little gardening pitchfork. It's my preferred method of pulling weeds, because you can generally break up the roots and really get at the roots. But, you know, I'm always amazed. I'm just walking back up to my plot. I'm always amazed at how large a 10 foot by 20 foot section of land is, and how much you can actually grow out of that. Like, it's pretty unreal to me, to be honest. Like, look at how much space this is. This is so much space. Like, if you have a backyard, this much space can actually produce so much. So we're gonna get this weeded, and then we're gonna plant some onions, and I'm actually meeting another gardener here who's a newer gardener to help her plant some stuff. So I'm gonna shut this down for a few minutes. I'm sure she would like her privacy and to not be on the YouTubes, but we're rocking and rolling today. I got energy. When I start to get my onions and my other stuff going, my garden energy just like replenishes itself. I'm into it. Okay, y'all. It is, the sun is shining. This is the glorious gardening weather. I got the plot cleaned up and all the weeds are out. I did figure out that this tool is called a scuffle hoe, and it's magical, and every gardener should have one. So I'm gonna show you what the plot looks like, and we're gonna get some onions planted. I'm not actually gonna film that because I'm showing another gardener how to plant her onions, and I'm sure she would like some anonymity. So, but we're gonna get some onions planted, and I'm gonna do a whole separate video on planting onions and all about onions. So, here is a fresh, clean slate. Look at that. Beautiful, weed-free, there's my garlic plot. Whew. Okay guys, I am tired. We've been busting our butts out of here, but I wanted to show you my planted onions. All right, here we are. We've got 70 onions in the community plot. They're only taking up about 1/3 of the space. I will come back through here and mulch once they get a little bit bigger and I can kind of mulch around them. But yeah, it's time for some lunch. Hey guys, it is later in the day, and so in this house we call them broke gustos when I have like a lot of really focused energy at the beginning of the day. I'm not very good at spacing out my gustos for the day. Like, my gustos aren't very sustainably spent. And so today, when you saw me earlier, that was all of my gustos for the day. And I came home and I ate lunch, walked the dogs, and now I've been doing nothing for about 2 hours. So, there was a lot of gustos that happened, and now I have no more gustos. But I have a funny story to tell you guys, which is why I turned the camera back on, because today was all about my community garden. So, like any body of people, especially people that are a nonprofit, there tends to be some like lack of communication in a community garden. And that's okay, right? Like, it's never anything that's completely devastating to like the overall ecosystem of the garden. What happened was, 2 years ago at my community garden, we planted ginger and turmeric in like a pretty shady area. So it's taken 2 years for it to really like size up and like become anything and become harvestable. So my friend approached me one day and said, "Hey, what's the deal with that garlic and ginger and turmeric?" can we harvest it? And it's in a communal area. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I planted it 2 years ago. Nobody's touched it. If you're gonna use it, please go ahead and let's harvest it. So I walked over there with her and we harvested it. And there was a lot. There was enough for both of us. We both dried some. We used it fresh. And then we get an email, like a garden-wide email, talking about how somebody at the garden was fairly upset that the ginger and turmeric had been harvested because they were planning on harvesting it and sharing it with everybody on Saturday. So I was the very unintentional, me and my friend were the very unintentional garden thieves. And we didn't mean to. There was no sign. We had not been told. Nobody knew that there was a plan for this ginger and turmeric that had been sitting there for 2 years. So I screenshotted the email and I sent it to my friend and I said, uh-oh, we're in trouble. We're not actually in trouble. We just needed to return it. Neither of us had used too much of it. So we bagged it up, we returned it. I am now replenishing the stock of the ginger and turmeric for us to replant. And I also made blueberry muffins for everybody yesterday for the work day, for our community garden work day. So it was kind of a funny story that I wanted to share with you guys about my community garden. Things like that happen sometimes. It's just the nature of a group of people getting together and having communication problems. And like I said, nobody's feelings were super hurt. The ginger and the turmeric was still shared garden-wide and it was all good in the hood. But I was an accidental garden thief and I definitely warranted the thievery. Like if I wouldn't have said it was okay, it probably wouldn't have been taken. But it's all good. So thanks so much for coming along with me today as I took you guys to my community plot. Really excited to see how that space evolves because it's definitely a space that my first year or two gardening there, I was very inspired because that was my only gardening space. And especially that my second year there was 2020. So really that garden became such a haven for me, and just my mental health and emotional health with, you know, being in lockdown and living in a big city and, all of that kind of stuff. So I really want to like give that space the love and attention that it deserves. But also be somewhat like spiritual about it and not try and plan it out too hard because I think sometimes when I plan things out like too hard, it doesn't go the way I want it to. So that's just kind of a little glimpse into the community garden life. So thanks so much for joining me today. And I did atone for my garden sins of theft with muffins and replacements and returning all of the items that I accidentally stole. Oh. Thanks so much for joining me today, y'all. And look out for a onion planting video here soon, as well as an update on seedlings. And oh, there's just a lot to talk about. It's all happening. It's all starting. I have so much like positive garden energy right now. A lot of gustos, but like then I lose my gustos and then I have to recharge my gustos, so okay, I can end this now. Oh, thanks for joining me today, guys, and happy gardening. We'll see you next time.